Hello and welcome to Herbology Class. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a mandrake for you to have at your house. So here's an example. Here's our little mandrake. Now luckily he's very quiet, so we don't have to worry about our earmuffs on this one. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a container to be his little pot. You'll need some leaves to stick on top, and then your option of, so right here I have some air dry clay. Otherwise you can use some Play-Doh, or you can make your own salt dough or polymer clay, anything like that. So what you want to do is you're going to take a portion of clay. So how much you use will depend on what size container you are. If you have this massive container, you might want to be making a larger mandrake. If you have just a small container, maybe you'll make a smaller one. So I'm going to grab about, a palm full of clay, like that much. Now, as you can see, our lovely little mandrake has a body and some arms, and he's got his roots and his head. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a little snake like that, and I'm gonna tear off just a little bit so I can add that for his arms and stuff. So I've got him here. It's about the same size, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pinch off little bits so I can start making some roots for him, right? So I've got just a couple little roots going on right there. And you can make them all whatever wibbly wobbly way. You might have to fix them as you're making the rest, so don't get too worried about it now. And then he has some of these little branches up top. So we're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna make little branches for his hair on the top of his head. Let's see, we'll have a couple of these because this is where you're gonna be sticking in those leaves. And these leaves are just cut out of construction paper. If you want them a little bit stiffer, you can use some cardstock. There we go. So we've got his legs, his top part for his hair, and then I'm just gonna lay him down right now. I'm gonna break my extra piece in half. I'm gonna make his arms, right? So they're kind of stuck on there. Actually, that was a bigger piece. I'm gonna use a smaller bit. So just a little piece. This stuff stains my hands, it's kind of fun. So he's got a couple of little long fingers going on there, so I'm gonna kind of break it in half a little bit and then smush them so they look nice and even like regular branches. There we go. And then I'm just gonna smooth it on. So I'm just gonna rub it in just a little bit. There we go. So it blends in. There we go. And then with the extra piece, do the same thing. I'm gonna make those 2 fingers, or however many fingers you want for your mandrake. 2 is a little bit easier. Boop. So there's his hands on that one. You can make them as thin or as fat as you want them to be. It's your mandrake. You get to grow it however you want. I'm gonna smooth it again. Just gonna blend it in there. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. So there you've got your base of mandrake. I'm gonna put my extra over here. Now, he needs a face, right? And some details on it. So actually I need to grab this really quick, just so I can stab some features in there. So I'm just gonna dab in an eye, right? There's his eye. You could use whatever you have on hand. Toothpick works great. Right now I'm just using a paintbrush. And you've got to make sure he gets his mouth, right? Just gonna make it like that. And then I'm gonna kind of blend it in a little bit. There we go. There's our grumpy little mandrake. Now, for the finishing touch, what you want to do is, if it's not going to fit in nicely, sometimes you just kind of have to cut it in if your paper's thin. And then, hold on. Get it in and kind of pinch it around so it'll stay. Now, if you're using air dry clay, all you have to do is leave it out. If you are using like polymer clay or anything that you have to bake, you may not want to put in your leaves now, but kind of cut in the indents for your leaves, and then you'll have to just glue them on, and that's okay. I'll pinch them in. We've got a couple extra leaves as well. There we go. And should your leaves fall out, just glue them on. Or maybe he just has a temper tantrum and loses his leaves. What a silly mandrake, right? There we go. And voila, there's our mandrake. If you want to give him like some little ridges, if you have a long nail, you just kind of put in the ridges like that, or you can kind of give him some ridges like this, or you can even take an extra leaf and see, I'm just giving him some texture on his body. You can just texture it around. Don't forget his arms, top. There we go. And there you have it. A grumpy mandrake for your own collection. Don't forget to plant him so he can grow nice and big. The end. Enjoy.